Good morning, everyone. Welcome to College of the Ozarks virtual chat. I am Brittany with the Discover Dairy program, and we are so excited that you're joining us today as we get to meet Farmer Ryan and Farmer Layla, and of course, our adorable calves, Angelica and Anthem. First, this live chat is part of the Adopt a Cow program. More than 43,000 teachers and 1.7 million students joined the fund for free this year, thanks to our generous supporters like the Midwest Dairy Association and the Dairy Excellence Foundation. If you'd like to join the fund next year, registration and re-enrollment is actually open starting today, May 1st. You can go to discoverdairy.com/adopt, and there you can either log in and re-enroll if you're already in the program, or if you're new to the program, go ahead and create an account and get started. Next, today's event is live and that chat is open on Facebook and YouTube. We are so excited to hear questions, and I know Ryan and Layla are also excited to hear from you and answer them. Now, before we go over to our farmers, let's see who's joining us today. Let's check out that chat. So one of our first folks with us was a homeschool family right outside of Odessa. So hello all and welcome. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have a class from Success Elementary School. Hello and welcome. We've got some folks from Taylor, Arkansas, some third graders. Hello, welcome, good morning. We have Timothy Lutheran School from Blue Springs. Good morning, all. Jumping down a little bit further, how about Cabot, Arkansas? We've got 20 kindergartners coming from there. Hello and good morning. We've got second grade class from Bronock, Missouri. Hello and welcome. We've got Miss Fleming's fourth graders who are with us from West Elementary in Batesville, Arkansas. Hello, good morning. And let's do one more down here. We've got our second grade class from Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri. Hello, welcome, good morning all. We are so excited to have you. Please continue letting us know where you're joining from. We'd love to see where you're all coming from. And now that you know where that chat is, feel free to use that to let us know what your questions are for Farmer Layla and Farmer Ryan. They're excited to hear them, and we'll get to them at the second half of our live chat. Speaking of our farmers, I'm pleased to introduce you to them. Hey, Farmer Layla. Hey, Farmer Ryan. How are you guys doing today?
Hi, we're good. How are you?
Oh, we're doing so well. We are so excited that this day is finally here and wrapping up the program. We would love to hear how you guys are doing, learn a little bit about you and the farm. So I'll let you take it away.
So, welcome to the live chat today. I'm Farmer Ryan. We're here at College of the Ozarks at the dairy. Been very excited to have you guys join our program and follow these calves through the year. It's been a good blessing, and it's been unique to come to some of your schools or have your schools come here for tours. And Layla and I have had a lot of fun going and doing all that for you guys.
I love that. Oh, very nice. And Layla, let's hear a little bit from you.
You guys know I am Farmer Layla. Um, so I'm a student at the College of the Ozarks, but I also get to work here, which pays for my schooling. And I get to work with Angelica, Anthem, and several other animals on our farm. I'm so glad you're here. I love getting to meet so many of you and read all your letters. They make my day. And I'm just excited to get to hear more from you all.
Awesome. Very cool. Farmer Layla, I have a question for you. So we know you're a student here at the college. What career are you pursuing at the college, and how did that get you to the dairy?
So I'm actually pursuing a degree in math education. So I want to be a math teacher.
Oh.
Um, so a lot of people are like, why would you work at the dairy if you're wanting to teach math? But I get to learn a lot that actually will help me with that. I get to interact with students like all of you guys. And then I get to have a leadership role here. It's really fast paced and moving, just like in a classroom. And there are lots of teaching opportunities every single day.
That's cool. I love the tie together, and it makes you perfect for this program to work with everyone that comes and tours, and like you said, all the letters and answering all the questions. So what a neat way to kind of tie some things together. And of course, you've got to love cows enough to be able to have this job too. So it ties some of their passions together, all in one. So very nice. Thank you to both of you. I really appreciate you giving some background. So of course, we've loved getting to know both of you and the college a little bit this year, but the two highlights of the year have been Anthem and Angelica. So how are they doing? We can see them just chilling out with you today. I know at our last update, we would have gotten a 6-month update, and we'll start with Angelica. Angelica was at 395 pounds and 48.5 inches. How big do you think she is now?
Okay, so Angelica is now 470 pounds roughly and
Wow.
48 inches.
Oh my goodness, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Oh my gosh, she's put on a lot of weight. Interesting. So she probably stayed about the same height, but she's just kind of building out her frame and just becoming a bigger animal. Anything about Angelica that just kind of talks about her personality a little bit?
Yeah, so I love getting to interact with Angelica. She is what I like to call spunky. She has a big personality. She is always sticking out her tongue. She needs attention. She's always finding something to get into. I like to see her interacting with the other calves. She jumps around a lot with them, and she's really fun.
Oh, I love that. Now, and we can see that there's a difference, but can you just remind us which one is Angelica for all of us joining today?
So this one right here is Angelica, the
Oh,
white faced one.
she looks like she's hanging out real cozy, comfy cozy with you. Now, can you just talk to us a little bit about what is on their face? Like what's tied to them right now, and why do you use those as farmers?
So those are a halter, and so they're just tied up here, just like if they were a show calf in a show pack. We use them to, they're easier to handle by halter
Mm-hmm.
breaking them. And
Gotcha.
so if we need them to take them somewhere, we can lead them there and get them there safely.
Makes sense. So, I mean, it's kind of similar to almost training a dog, maybe if we train them to follow or come or sit or anything like that. No, I don't think we're training our cows to sit, but we certainly are training them to walk nicely on a halter, like you said, most importantly for the safety of them to get them from point A to point B in a calm fashion. Cool. Awesome. Thank you. So then that was Angelica. Now, for Anthem, she was always a little bit bigger the whole time. We had her at like 440 pounds. How big do you think she is now?
So, and Anthem is 587 pounds roughly, and
Wow.
she is 51 inches tall.
Wow. Oh
Yep.
my goodness. I can't believe how much. Oh, she's gotten a lot bigger too. You guys must be feeding them some pretty good feed. Actually, can we talk about that a little bit? What are they eating right now? Maybe are there samples with you or anything that they're chewing on?
Yeah, you can see in front of them they have some orchard grass hay in front of them that they're eating
Mhm.
as their forage. And then we don't have any grain here right now, but they get 10 pounds of grain per day. And that grain is made up of ground corn, soy hull pellets, soybean meal, and distiller's grain.
Very cool. Now, do you guys make that grain or is that something that you work with a company to help make sure that they're getting all the right nutrients?
So we do work with a company to make that ration for those calves in the
Gotcha.
for as the grain. But we have a workstation here like the dairy, but it's called the feed mill, and that's where all
Ah,
the feed is mixed for the hog farm, dairy, and beef farm.
cool. So are there students that work there too?
Yeah, there's 4 students that work there.
That's awesome. So you've got students who are helping to mix the rations for the cows and making sure that they're getting the right pellets and the right grains. And then you have you guys who are managing all the cows. That's really cool how that all works together to give everyone that learning opportunity. And of course, that's a real career in the real world too of being able to make sure we're making those high quality products for our cows. So maybe someday someone wants to be a nutritionist or a feed manager or something like that. So that'd be cool. Awesome. So we have been following them for their whole life from birth all the way up until about 8 months old or so, or seven months where they're at. What's going to be their next steps after this, after they're kind of moving out from their group pens here?
Yeah, I think we still have a lot of tours ahead of us. People wanting to come visit these in person. So we'll probably keep them up here at the barn and keep them on the same ration. But as soon as we get through all our tours and visitors, we're going to take them out on pasture and they'll go run with the 12 other calves they were born with in September.
Nice. Oh, that's exciting. Okay, so they'll get a little extra love, a little extra attention for a couple more months
Yeah.
yet, and then they'll get to go join the big girl herd. So we while while we've been chatting, I just looked over. We've been getting quite a few questions in from some classes. If you guys are ready to answer some questions and we can maybe get up close and personal with our girls for a little bit. I love that they're just so calm with you today. But if you guys are ready for some questions, we've got some kids really excited to hear from you.
Of course, yeah.
So let's see. We've got to start. Oh, from Miss Graves, we were curious, how much do cows sleep or rest throughout the day? Because they look like they're pretty, resting right now.
Yeah, we'd like them to lay down about 14 hours a day.
Wow. My goodness, I wish I could rest 14 hours a day. That would be great. Aw. How about from Old Hawthorne Academy? They were curious, do they have a favorite treat at all? We talked about their grain and their hay. Do they get treats? Like we like ice cream. Didn't know if the cows got anything.
So, they really do like their grain. That's pretty big treat to them daily. They kind of think of it as ice cream, I think. They'll come running for the grain as soon as they know we're about to take it out. Every once in a while, you'll see a student feeding them a sugar cube when we're trying to train them for halter, but that's not a super often occasion.
Sure. So sometimes just to help give them a little incentive, but usually they're green. Okay,
Yeah.
very nice. Oh, a good question from Miss Fisher. They were curious, when will they have their own babies?
So right now they're setting about 7 months old, I believe, off the top of my head, and
Mhm.
so we'll see them calve at 24 months old.
Okay, so they won't have their first baby until they're 2. How long are they pregnant for? Is it like humans, longer, shorter?
9 months.
Just
Oh,
like
okay.
humans.
Yeah, so it is like humans. Very cool. So they're pregnant for about 9 months, and then they have their first calf at 2. Then what happens after that? They have their calf. I'm assuming, does their calf go do the same thing that these girls did?
Yeah, their calves will be bottle fed, and the cows themselves, whenever they turn 2 year old and start milking, they will go up to our freestall barn we may see here in a few minutes when we
Yeah.
video some of that, and they'll get a TMR ration and make milk to provide our campus with a good product to drink.
I love that you guys are able to provide that milk for your campus for everyone on the campus to enjoy. That's really cool that you guys bottle and everything. So at 2 years old, they'll have their first calf. They'll finally be producing milk and be part of that milking herd. Can we talk a little bit about? So that actually answered quite a few people's questions. A lot of people were curious when they'll start milking. So can you talk a little bit about the actual milking process? What's it like for a cow? How long is it? That kind of thing.
Um, so when the cow calves in, they'll immediately start being milked. We milk them twice a day.
Okay.
And this is done at 5 in the morning and 5 in the afternoon. So we have a parlor that they'll milk in. So we'll hook them up to the attachments. It will get weighed. We weigh them in pounds of milk. And they stay super consistent. So from morning to morning or from night to night, their milk will stay within 5 pounds of each other. And if it doesn't, then we kind of know something's up with the cow and that we want to check her out and make sure she's super
Gotcha.
healthy still. Um,
Hmm,
yeah.
that's cool.
Milking
So,
takes about 5 to 7 minutes to happen. So
oh
they go
wow.
into the parlor, they're in there 5 to 7 minutes, and they're back out getting to eat TMR or lay around or drink water or hang out under the fans.
My goodness. So they only work for about 5 to 7 minutes twice a day. And then like what you just described, Farmer Ryan, they can hang out under the breezy fans, be comfy on their bed, hang out with their herd mates, eat all they want. That sounds like a pretty great life that they get to live. That's awesome. Very
Yeah,
cool.
they're kind of Olympic athletes. They get 5 minutes of glory.
That's really cool. Well, it sounds like they eat like athletes too. I know you mentioned a TMR. Can you explain what a TMR is and what that stands for?
Yeah, so it's a total mixed ration. So, most times of the year we're feeding corn silage and wheat silage as our forage base, and then we're doing a grain mix into that as well, with ground corn, soybean meal, soy hull pellets, and a mineral pellet. And so we have a nutritionist that balances that to make it perfect. That way they stay healthy and make a lot of milk for campus to be able to eventually drink.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all mixed together. Basically, a TMR mixer is like a blender on wheels. It makes every bite the same. Cows love consistency, and that's their key to success. They don't like changing it up like we do, where we like to eat pizza and burgers different days. They like to eat
Yeah.
the same thing, and so it makes it very consistent for those cows to enjoy.
Gotcha. Yeah. So, I mean, they really are athletes. They're getting this high quality food that you guys are mixing for them every day. I wish someone cooked for me all every day. That would be awfully convenient. Let's see. We've got a lot. Oh, we have a good question from Miss Harris. They were asking about Anthem specifically, but it can be for both of them. They were curious, how big will they get when they're considered full grown? And when do you consider a cow full grown?
Um, well, we weighed one of their family members the other day, and she weighed like 1,960 pounds. And Anthem's mother is rather big. You'll see here in a few minutes. And
Yeah.
I could see Anthem getting almost to that ton mark if, when she gets 8 years old or so.
Wow. Oh my goodness. That's almost a ton. That's
Yeah.
incredible. They can get to be that big. So while they did grow a lot and they grew pretty fast pretty quickly, they've got a long way to go yet before they're considered full grown. Now you mentioned their moms, and I think we have a surprise for everybody that I think some of that Anthem and Angelica's herd mates and or maybe family mates or family might be somewhere close by. Hello. So can you remind us which is which and who is who and kind of just give us the rundown here?
So Layla will fill you in on some of their names, but 1688 is the mother of Angelica. So you can see her there. She is probably our most outstanding 2-year-old milk cow right now in the herd. We're very proud about her and very excited of her future. And then
Oh,
standing next to her is 1614, Ariana, and this is her mother, um, or her grandmother, Angelica's grandmother.
oh wow. Oh, so the whole clan is here today. Oh. Now how old is her grandmother? I guess that says
She'll
as
turn
I
5 in
told.
September.
Oh my goodness. Oh, they kind of look like her. They all look a little bit alike with the white face.
Yeah, they're very like cookie cutters.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
1497, probably one of the greatest cows in our herd right now. Has made a lot of heifers and young cows that have got a lot of awards. She actually
wow.
just got professionally pictured the other day, so stay tuned to our Facebook page for that. Um,
Ooh.
her name is Ashton, and she's the mother of Anthem.
Oh, wow. So we've got some rock star cows over here hanging out, and we appreciate them coming to hang out. Now, while we were getting a close-up of all of them, they're all kind of doing this gum chewing thing. Can you talk to us about what that is?
Yeah, so they're chewing cud right now. So they got milked at 5 this morning. They've been eating for the last few hours, and now they're just chewing their cud, digesting that food, and making milk as we speak.
Wow, that's incredible. Now, why do they chew their cud? So, you said that they already ate, but it looks like they're still eating. What's happening that they're still chewing even though there's no food that they're putting into their mouth?
Well, that gets real scientific. So I don't want to get off in the weeds, but a cow has 4 stomachs, and
Hmm.
that's a part of the process of how those stomachs work and how they
Interesting.
digest their food.
Very cool. Very cool. I think if I'm correct, like it essentially goes down into one stomach, comes back up, they chew it, goes down in the next one, comes back up, and keep going until they get all the yummy nutrients out of that food.
Yeah,
Um,
they're gonna absorb all the goodies out of what we feed them.
Very cool. Now, I think you had mentioned something in your TMR, but part of what makes them so cool with chewing their cud is they're able to get nutrition out of foods that we as humans can't consume. Do you guys use any byproducts in your TMR or in any of your mixes or anything?
The dried distillers grain would be considered a byproduct, and the
Yeah.
soy hull pellets would be considered a byproduct. So,
That's that's amazing. So yeah, so for anyone that's listening today, a byproduct is essentially something that we as humans made a product for us to enjoy, but now we've got these waste pieces, it's extra pieces of the food source that we can't use. So now what do we do with it, right? So Farmer Layla and Farmer Ryan can take those things, add it to their food, so the food for their cows, and their cows can eat it and turn it into energy. It's an amazing thing. And like Farmer Ryan said, there's a lot of science behind it. But I wanted you to know that because it's really cool how cows can be the ultimate upcycler and turn our waste into energy and delicious milk, which is pretty cool. Awesome. Thank you for sharing them with us. I know we had some people pretty excited that we got to see how they were doing, and it's neat to see some legacy from the herd. Let's see, a couple other questions that are coming in. We're curious if there's any other animals on the farm other than dairy cows.
our college does have a beef farm and a hog farm,
Okay,
but they are not normally on campus. We have some farms just outside of town that those animals are located at.
gotcha. Very nice. Ooh, question about we saw some close-ups on the moms, and we're seeing a close-up on our adopted calves. We see these yellow tags in their ears. Can we talk about why those are important and why you use tags in cows?
Yeah, so that's a number that will follow those calves their whole life, even though we have nicknames for them like Angelica and Anthem, and their registration name has that on that. But that ID is their number that will stay with them. And it's hard to see on these tags, but there is a big, long, like I think it's a 15 or 17 digit number. That would be
Mm-hmm.
their registration number, which is another number that stays with these calves, and there'll never be another one with those numbers. So,
Wow. So that really helps to identify who is who. Can you remind us how many cows are on the farm?
we have about 120 head total. We're
Okay.
milking 41 right now, and have about 60 young stock,
Okay.
and the rest are dry cows.
Gotcha. So yeah, 120 animals. That can be a little bit tricky to remember all of them. So I can see why those ear tags are pretty important to keep track of who is who. And I know like when you guys right before this chat, you know you had asked some students to come help bring the cows up and you could tell them the numbers and they knew exactly who you were talking about. And I'm sure that helps with just general care and maintenance of the animals too, whenever it's maybe herd check time or something like that. So very
Yep.
cool. Let's see. Oh, interesting question. We saw it more prevalent with the moms that we were showing. We saw while they were standing, you know, they kind of had those bones sticking out in the back of like out the back. Can you just talk about, you know, why is that how a dairy cow is structured or just, you know, is that normal for a dairy cow?
Yeah, so those cows are in like ideal form. We're gonna see some angularity throughout that cow's body. You can see the ribs and some of the sharpness over the her top line and her hooks and
Mm-hmm.
pins. But you know, these cows are Olympic athletes, and they're using some of their feed to maintain themselves, as well as make a wholesome product to feed this nation. And
Yeah.
and so that's ideal. Where like a beef cow, which maybe some of our listeners are used to, they put a lot of their feed to themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and make red meat for us to eat at the dinner table. So
Right.
two polar opposite cows doing two polar opposite things, but providing good products for us to eat.
Yeah, that was great from Orion. Thank you for outlining that. So, yeah, these are athletes in the sense that they're making milk for us. So, they're just going to be a leaner animal and that's just how their bone structure is. So, great. Thank you. We had a good question come up. We had some kids who said, we like cooling off in the summer by dipping our toes in the pool. What do the cows do to help cool off in the summertime? Because it can get pretty hot. We were curious what you guys do on the farm to keep them cool.
So, we do a couple different things to make sure that the cows stay super cool. First, we always make sure that they have trees in the fields that they're in if it's going to get hot, so that way they can go under the shade and cool off when they lay down. Um, if it gets really, really hot, we also have big fans in our freestall barn, which that's the barn where we keep all of our mamas.
Okay.
So we have big fans that stay on them. And then we also have a sprinkler system that we turn on various periods throughout the day. So the cows actually can come and stand in the sprinklers, just like we like sprinklers. They love the sprinklers too, and it helps keep them cool.
Oh, very cool. So they got fans, they got sprinklers, they got shade. They've got all the things to stay warm or to stay cool. And then, of course, I'm sure you got plenty of things to keep them warm too, because we know it can get pretty darn cold there too. What's the ideal temperature that cows like to live in? Because, I think we as humans maybe like 70 degrees or so, but is that the same for cows?
Yeah, they like it in that 50 to 70 degree range, in my opinion.
Yeah. So they're pretty happy even when it gets a little bit chillier down to 50 and loving those slightly cooler temps. Very cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Farmer Layla and Farmer Ryan. We have really gotten through a bunch of questions, and thank you all for asking such amazing questions to kind of guide us through today. I did want to wrap up with one more question. You guys, you talked a little bit about it, but we'd love to know. We know you guys are working really hard to take care of these cows and kind of putting in a lot of effort. And plus, you're going to fairs and extra things outside of this. You're doing this program. There's a lot to it. I would love to know your why. Why do you do what you do every day? You chose dairy farming, especially for you, Ryan. This is your full-time job, and Layla, it's just a really great opportunity for you. But what's your why behind this?
I'll let you go first.
Um, so when I was in high school, I knew immediately when I came to visit that this is the place I wanted to end up. I chose my college. A big part of it was because of this dairy.
That's
The
cool.
environment, the animals, like nothing makes my day more than just coming down here at the end of it and cuddling with the calves or playing with the cows. I'm here more than I'm not. Um, but I just think it's such an amazing learning opportunity for me. It brings me joy. I grow with family because when you work with people at a dairy, you grow to be brothers and sisters, not just coworkers.
Right.
Um, yeah, it's just I've gained so much from it that's gonna help me. And I have some animals of my own, and I hope to continue that in the future, even though that isn't gonna be my main career goal.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. No, I love that. Thank you, Layla. How about you, Ryan?
Well, I kind of have a wild story, and we won't get into all that. But the short version is got put in here my freshman year, like Layla did, as a student, and worked here 4 years, and just fell in love with the place and fell in love with the cows, and really fell in love with this Holstein breed, and gained a lot of knowledge about it, and got the opportunity to come back as assistant manager, and then now I've been the head manager for quite some time. And so in I guess 10 days from today it'll be 10 years, so that's kind of wild. And so
Congrats.
that's a long time being employed by the college. So 14 years, I've seen a lot of things. But just always enjoyed teaching the students. That's why I'm here. I do love these cows, but teach the students and see them grow. And College Ozarks is a unique college where we can learn in the classroom and step right out the back door. 100 yards away is the dairy farm, so we can learn in the
Yeah.
classroom, walk right out and apply it to our workstation. And to be a part of that's pretty amazing, and seen a lot of cool things happen here in 10 years. We've been very successful and have some amazing students, and we all become family at the end of the day. So
That's awesome. I love that. I love both of your passions. I mean, you're both part of what's creating our next generation of dairy farmers, and that's so crucial. So thank you to both of you for your part in that, and truly just loving up and personally loving up on our adorable adopted calves. We've loved getting to follow them this year. The pictures were fantastic, Farmer Layla. Thank you so much for sharing them with us. And Ryan, thank you for just doing a great job working with all the students and really raising amazing cows. They're beautiful animals. You guys have a lot to be proud of. And of course, the really cool part is you're feeding the world, right? And I think Ryan, you had mentioned it earlier, but you guys get to do something that very few people get to do, which is give us a product that we all love: milk, cheese, yogurt, ice cream, all the good things. And you get to even serve your local community with your students. So just a really great all around story. So thank you so much for your time as dairy farmers, as students in the dairy industry, and of course, just being part of this program. We've loved having you as a host farm. It's been a lot of fun following Angelica and Anthem. And thank you all for joining the program. We could not be more excited to have you. And I know Layla has been busy getting letters and answering all kinds of messages and stuff. Feel free to reach out to them anytime you want. They're always here to help answer your questions. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to share before we tune off today?
If you haven't made it yet to see the calves, you know how to contact us, get a hold of us.
Hmm.
If you're in Branson for vacation, swing by, get a glass of chocolate milk and a scoop of ice cream that's made from the milk from these great cows you saw here today. And we'll enjoy seeing you in the future here at the dairy.
That's awesome. I might have to come by myself sometime. That sounds pretty delicious. Thank you guys so much. And thank you all again for choosing agriculture in the classroom. We truly appreciate it. Don't forget to re-enroll for the program. Registration opened today. So you can go ahead and get started at discoverdairy.com/adopt. And we look forward to having you with new adopted calves in 2025 in October. Thank you so much, all. We hope to see you then and have a great summer. Take care, everybody. Bye.